Calling me an idiot, or are you calling Gemma Collins an idiot?
I mean, look for the hole in the floor people are coming out of before you walk over it.
Because I'm the GC. Can't
Yeah.
kill the GC. Oh,
Hello and
brilliant.
welcome to episode 195 of Heroes of Handheld. This week presented by me, Gemma Collins. It's Gemma, and
The GC.
Colin Bird.
It's the GC.
Oh, Gemma Colin Bird. That's
The
good.
CB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you, mate?
I'm very well. I am very well, Christopher.
Good.
It feels like a lifetime since we last chatted.
Yeah, it's been ages.
It must be like the beginning of October. It must have been like the first few weeks. It's crazy. And since then, you've gone to Spain. You've partaked in the protests. What else?
Yeah, I was there. I was throwing things at people.
No
you know
to
what I'm
Spanish
like.
rule. Anyway, what are we saying? But yeah, it's been too long. We shouldn't. It's good to know that we're back to a steady schedule and nothing's going to affect us going forward. And on that note, there'll be a sandwich episode next week. Woo! Woo!
Why are you taking all these extra shifts when you should be podcasting?
Well, I have work and it's Halloween next week, guys. And I'm really glad that Chris got the memo and decided to dress up for the occasion. Otherwise, I would have felt very embarrassed. Chris? So
I came dressed as a podcast host. You should try it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know where to begin with that one. Way. Anyway, so for all the people watching on YouTube, I'm just going to put the old costume on, and then we're going to continue on.
You're so annoying, Colin. You had to see this on YouTube. I'm not very keen on it.
Well, it's quite creepy, isn't it? Because I'm wearing a morph suit, and my nose looks quite. Look at that! Look at that! It's like squidged in. But I have to say, it's actually quite comfy. It's actually very soft, very nice on the skin. But when you first loaded up the Hangout, surely you must have been a bit creeped out. Like, oh God, here's the Slender Man. He's finally got me.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was thinking. I wasn't just thinking, what an idiot. So I'm just taking a photo of this. So,
And then you turned around and picked up the notes behind you. And then you got 7 out of 7 notes and you dyed your hair pink and you did a Let's Play on YouTube. That's pretty much what happens with the Slender Man. Good times. Do you remember when Slender Man was a thing? It was like the big internet meme where people were like playing. Huh?
I was trying to do my Slender Man Let's Play.
How's it going, bras? Welcome to Slender
Man. Hi,
guys.
This is Crystal Northscope 360 Games here, and today we're going to be playing Slender Man. Oh my God, it's Slender Man!
That's actually quite good. It's like I'm watching YouTube back in 2012. Quite something. Anyway, right. So, what should we talk about? Have you seen the new 4? It's the new 4 film. It's not out yet, is it? You haven't seen
it? I've not seen it yet. I'm seeing it next week.
No way, it's out. The reviews are crazy good for it. I really want to see it. What's it called? For Ragnarok? Is that the name of it? I swear this sort of film sort of come out of nowhere, really. Like there wasn't much build up to it. It just sort of was unleashed.
Well, speak for yourself. I've seen like non-stop promo for it.
I've not seen any trailers for it. I've not seen any. The only posters I've seen, well, I guess I saw a video online. But the big question is it going to be as epic as Geostorm?
Oh, wow.
Gerald Butler?
Who knows?
Let's come on. Sure, they have these lists every year of actors who are, lose these production companies the most money. I know Johnny Depp has won that award before with such beauties as Mordecai, Lone Ranger, and whatever other crap he does. But surely Gerald Butler has got to be in there with one of the most overpaid actors in terms of the returns you get at the box office. Because
the thing is that he has done some really he is in some good stuff. He's done some good performances.
Yeah, his peak was probably 300.
Yeah, I was thinking Rock and Roller. That was around the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
The Bounty Hunter with Jennifer Aniston.
Who can forget that classic? Or Playing for Keeps. That was also a good one. No, because he was in a film earlier this year, Gods of Egypt. Do you remember that one?
Oh yes, that got kind of panned, didn't it?
It's cost like 300 million to make or something, and he made like 20 million or something. It was ridiculous. And there's a gif going round of him wearing like this angel suit, this like Pegasus winged god suit from that film, and it's made me sort of want to watch it. We're talking of films. I watched Annabelle Have you ever seen that film with the doll?
I've not,
The creepy
no.
doll? No, scary. Well, it's not scary at all. It's one of those. There's a creepy doll, and you just think, why are people not throwing this doll away? It's obviously cursed and killing people. Throw the doll away, people. And then the film is over.
Is the film Annabelle available to watch on your Nintendo Switch?
It is on. Nothing's available to watch on Nintendo Switch. There's no streaming services on there, Chris. Come on.
That's true.
Is this? I've not actually been in the loop with Switch recently. Is there still no streaming services on?
No, I was just trying to do a seg into what people actually want to tune in for, which is the gaming news. But please tell me more about Annabelle.
People want to hear social commentary on the film industry. But can you believe that Jeff got kicked out last week? Anyway, right. What are we doing? What should we talk about first, Chris? Because I can't actually see in this suit. You're going to have to tell me what's on the agenda for today.
Okay, let's do the also in the news stuff, Colin.
Whoa.
Because what we should start off with is a review.
Right.
Because we were sent a code for a Switch game called Judge. Now, have you heard about Judge?
I have not. Please tell me more about Judge.
But have you heard of Neon Chrome?
Oh, yes. I liked Neon Chrome. Hold on. Hold the phone. Oh, so I can actually breathe now. Neon Chrome, I think... My memory is not what it used to be, but I think Neon Chrome was a game I really liked.
So
it does ring a bell.
Neon Chrome is made by 10 Tons, as is Judge. And Neon Chrome, we talked about last week on the show, has just come out on Switch, and it's a top-down roguelike shooter where you're trying to climb the floors of a building. So the fans of people liked Neon Chrome, it did well, but there was a lot of people. A portion of the player base were like, well, it's a bit too hardcore. We don't like that you lose your character all the time. You die too often. So the folks at 10 Tons made a game instead called Judge, which is a prequel set in the Neon Chrome universe. And they call it a rogue hate game, which is where it's got roguelike elements to it, but it's more friendly. I would say it mostly reminds me of Hotline Miami, to be honest. It's that kind of short top-down levels, shooter with a series of objectives. Go in and try and get 3 stars. You get a star for saving all the hostages, a star for doing it in 20 seconds, a star for doing this, that, and the other.
They love the old stars, don't they? 10 Tons. A lot of their games are a score out of 3 stars.
It's got co-op as well, which I haven't tried now. I like Judge. I don't think I like it as much as Neon Chrome, but I think it's worth checking out if people want a top-down kind of arcade shooter. And the thing is, the Switch Joy-Cons feel so good for playing these sorts of games. Like, it feels really kind of arcadey. So it's it's an interesting little title. And I think it's a good move for them to bring it to Switch.
So does it work well on Switch? Are the controls good? Does it feel right?
Yeah, it's quite tight. I mean, it's I didn't play it on anything else. I never played it on PS4 or anything like that. I think it might have been on Vita as well, or PC, definitely.
Yeah.
So I've only played it on Switch, but I would say it works pretty well. I think it's I think it's enjoyable for kind of short bursts. I'm never going to sit and play it for 3 hours at a time, but I have a couple of times, like this week, I've been like, oh, I've got 10 minutes. Let's just try and clear a level or 2 on Judge. And
that's a question I actually have, which I guess is about this game and also about the Switch in general. Is the Switch a good console for picking up and playing? Can you just instantly turn it on and go straight in?
Yeah, definitely. It's so fast. I mean, when they first showed off the UI, I don't know if you remember, I was around yours, and we watched the video of it, and we were like, what the fuck is this? It's so simple, it's so basic. But actually, it's really good, because you want to play a game, you press the on button, and then you press, yes, I want to play this game. And, you're there. It is really... Nice. Yeah, they've clearly wanted to streamline it so that you could get playing straight away.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, that's good.
It's a good game. I enjoy it. I'd recommend checking it out. It is, I'd say, easier than Neon Chrome. Neon Chrome is really hard.
Yeah.
And I kind of prefer that because I like the challenge. I like the grind and the sort of repetition of it. But worth checking out. And it's made by 10 Tons and it's out on Switch. And I'm sure it will do very well for them there.
Nice. Well, that's very good. I mean, most of their games are good. It's very rare they do a bad game, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's nice to see them embracing the Switch platform.
They've got another one coming out next week as well, actually. They're bloody non-stop.
Yeah, they like their games, that game developer.
Yeah.
They sure like making games. Well, I'm glad you're liking it. Can I quickly do a review for a mobile game I've been playing?
Yeah.
So I mentioned last week briefly in our sandwich episode that I've been playing Rayman Adventures, which is just brilliant as usual for those games. The Rayman series, fantastic, and also Football Strike, which was a game from Miniclip, which was fun, but one of those games where it's almost like the whole time you're playing, it's like, give us money, give us money. Hey, why not click this button and give us more money? But it's a free to download game. But it's one of those games where it's pop-ups constantly say, do you want to buy better kit? Do you want to buy better footballs? And it's, in a way, pay to win, which isn't good. Anyway, the game I've been playing this week, I only downloaded it yesterday, but I can't stop playing it. It's called Dashi Crash Turbo. And I think this game's actually been available for quite a while. It's not a new release, but this one's called Turbo. I don't know whether it's like an offshoot or whatever, but I'm really enjoying it. Really colourful art style. And the game is basically very similar to Temple Run in a way where, obviously in Temple Run, you got your character running forward and you swipe left and right to turn, left, right, jump, whatever, slide, whatever you need to do. In Dashi Crash Turbo, you're on a road. You're in a car which has a learner plate on top of it, which is quite funny. And you're speeding off down this road, and there's like 5 or 6 lanes of traffic, and you've got to swerve in and out of traffic, and you've got to get as far as possible, basically. If you hit any other cars, if you hit any other obstacles, then you're out, and that is game over. But it's really fun. It's really addictive. There's loads of really funny obstacles. There's like cars that speed up behind you and can knock you off your, knock you out of your lane. The backdrop's really nice as well. There's like the stars in the sky. There's sunrises, sunsets. So it's really cool. It's quite tongue-in-cheek. Something I don't really understand about it is that the other cars that are around you as you drive by, as you drive past them, like some of them will have little speech bubbles above them, which have emojis in. And I'm not too sure why. It seems very random. I don't know whether this has been put in to be down with the kids, but like you'll go past one car and there'll be a smiley face emoji. You go past another one and there'll be like a vomit face emoji. You go past the next one and there'll be like a face palm emoji. And I just don't really know why that is.
Tell the difference between them.
I
Do you see what I mean?
I don't know, because I think it's random, because I don't see any pattern with the emojis. It's all random each time. I'm just playing it now. Whilst we're talking, just one finger swiping left and right. It's one of those games where when you get out, you want to just play another round and try and beat your best score. But it's really fun. It's free to download. No need to spend any money on it from what I can see. So I definitely recommend it. It's called Dashi Crash Turbo and it's on iOS. I'm not too sure whether it's on Android, but I'm sure it probably is. Most of these games are on both platforms. So yeah, I've been enjoying that very much this week. Very, very fun game. Fun game to have on mobile. Anyway, Chris, do you want to see my sword? Here's my sword. Do you like my sword?
A sword.
I think Chris is still there. Because he's admiring my sword.
Why you've got a sword?
I have a sword. It's one of my favorite souvenirs from my favorite place in the world, Disney World. Woo! Anyway, should we talk about some news?
Yeah, let's
do this. I want to quickly go off the grid, off the board for Heroes of Handheld. I don't think... Did you actually introduce the podcast that we're Heroes of Handheld? Should we go back to the beginning and introduce ourselves? I don't think we did this.
Yeah, should we just cut the last 25 minutes?
Yeah, scrap it. Put on the edit. So I just want to quickly... A new segment we're going to bring to the podcast, which we're not really going to, but I thought it'd be funny to say. We're going to have Xbox Corner, where we have a little snippet of Xbox news every week. Woo! And I just wanted to talk about these 2 bits of news that have come out this week, because I thought it was quite... not funny, but quite... no, it was quite funny, actually. So the first one is about Microsoft, of course, and the Xbox Kinect. Do you remember the Kinect, Chris? Were you a fan?
Yeah, I do remember the Kinect.
Swaying from left to right on a board, or pretending to ride animals, or petting a dog. It was all fun. And when the Xbox One first came out, you had to have a Kinect because it was built into the system. They said there's no way we can remove the Kinect because it's an integral part of the future of Xbox. And then after an outcry, they took it out. And it's sort of got a bit quiet in the world of Kinect since then. I've not actually heard any news about it until today. And surprise, surprise, Microsoft has finally killed off the Kinect. Such fun, such fun. So if you remember, the Kinect began its life on the Xbox 360, and I remember when it first came out, and in all these shops, like, it wasn't just gaming shops, it was like supermarkets. They had demos set up around the store of like the staff members trying the Kinect, and it just looked ridiculous, Chris, because they were like, it was like Kinect Adventures, and there's a game on there where you're on a raft going down some rapids, and you have to like lean from left to right to balance on this raft. Otherwise, I assume you plunge to your death. And it just didn't work. It just did not work. And I remember when the Kinect came out for the Xbox One, or when the Xbox One came out initially, the one thing that people said was the best feature of the Kinect was the voice recognition. Like the fact you could say,
yeah, Xbox play
on.
this game.
Yeah, because apparently that was really cool. But apart from that, nothing. So this news has come out. So this is ahead of Microsoft's next earning report, which is coming out later this week. So probably today or tomorrow. The company revealed that it has put an end to manufacturing the device, meaning those still sitting on store shelves will be the last ones available to purchase. So why don't you get your Kinect? Go down to the pawn shop where Rick Harrison is, trade it in, and you might get a pretty penny for it. Basically, it was shared by Kinect creator Alec Kipman and Xbox Devices marketing GM Matthew Lapson in an interview with Fast Company. Apparently, support for the device will continue, so there's no need to worry at the moment. And you can still use it to pause Netflix with voice commands and use apps and things like that. But yes, so they're not making them anymore. And to be fair and to be honest, I'm surprised that they are actually still making Kinects. I had completely forgotten about them. So why do you think the Kinect failed, Chris? What about the Kinect just did not gather momentum?
Well, people didn't like the fact it was automatically built in, did they? Because that was like a big cost thing. And then it just seems to have, I think this gen thing, we've kind of backpedaled a bit, because last gen it was like, or maybe the gen before last, it was like, the Wii was, kind of gimmicky. PlayStation had Move, Xbox had Kinect, and it was like, whoa, waggly. But this whole gen is much more been like, we're making games for gamers, and it's hot, and it's and it's here's the games you want. Here's a nice controller, bish bash bosh, crashy bashy mini. So it's maybe that's why. It's just because the audience don't want the nonsense anymore. They don't want to wiggle around in there, and there'll always be room for that sort of thing, but the audience weren't connecting with it, and weren't connecting with it, and didn't feel like that was how they wanted to engage and play their games anymore, which is understandable, because the classic example for me is there was a version of Tomb Raider that came out on PlayStation where you could have a voice control, so you could plug your controller in, plug your microphone in to the controller, and then you'd be like, Lara, use the bow, and then she'd swap to the bow. And it was it was just daft, because it's like, what is I know that's on PlayStation, not Xbox.
Doesn't that waste more time? Surely it's quicker.
Yeah, and it's like voice commands and all that kind of stuff. I mean, things like Siri on your phone is slightly different, but even that is, Apple and other companies blow that up to be the big deal, and actually it's not that. People like us don't engage with that sort of stuff that much. So it's Kinect was interesting when it was at its peak, and when it was the dancing game and the rafting game. There was like a fighting game as well, wasn't it, with fireballs? I remember.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, but who can forget the peak of the Kinect's existence, the Star Wars game? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
What? You need to Google Star Wars Kinect, because it was amazing, not because of the actual gameplay, but they had mini games in it. And I shit you not, there was a dancing game in this Star Wars universe game, and you could dance as Han Solo, and the song was called I'm Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo. I'm not joking. This actually happened, and a lot of people said it was the best part of that game. And then, yeah, it was a weird time in the world. Anyway, so that's the Kinect gone. Farewell. So you remember back at E3, Microsoft said that they're going to be bringing more, well, they're actually going to be releasing original Xbox games to the Xbox One, thanks to backwards compatibility. And obviously, they brought a lot of Xbox 360 games back, but we finally got details of the first games that are going to be available. So these all came out on the original Xbox way back when. And there's a good list here. Well, there's 13 games, but they're 13 very good games. So the games that are going to be available to play on Xbox One, for backwards compatibility are Black, Blood Rain 2, Crimson Skies, Dead to Rights, Fusion Frenzy, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which is what happens when I make love to my girlfriend. That made no sense. That was awful. Neo Wave, The King of Fighters, Ninja Gaiden Black, Pirates, with an exclamation mark, Prince of Persia, Psychonauts, Red Faction 2, and of course Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So all those games are going to be available on backwards capacity on your Xbox One. They were available to download from yesterday, so October the 24th. So yeah, go and enjoy those, people. If you want to go and buy, I mean, this is cool because if anyone's got those old discs hanging around, if you've got an old Xbox original disc that you've had for like 10 years or whatever, and you had it on your 360, it will work when you put it into an Xbox One. So downloads and the console and the actual disc version will work as well. Unfortunately, it's only the single-player campaigns and offline modes. There's no online modes for any of these because obviously it's been quite a while. A lot of the servers have now been shut down for these various games, but it's still cool. I don't know if there's a huge demand for these Xbox games to be playable on the Xbox One. I don't know. But it's nice that they've given you the option, and obviously the whole being able to play 360 games is a big draw as well. So yeah. That's cool. Do you recognize any of those games? Any of those games that you've played or
no? But then I wasn't really an Xbox guy.
No.
But I'm glad it's cool that the tech is so simple as well.
Yeah, it's not. It's really weird. When they first announced the Xbox One way back when, E3, like 5-6 years ago, whenever it was, and they came on stage. Not came on stage. This was after the actual presentation, and people asked, "Will you be able to play old Xbox games on it?" And they were like, "No, we can't do that. There's no way of doing it." And then about a year later, there you go. Right, so that's the Xbox Corner done. We need like a little theme song for Xbox Corner.
Yeah. We need to start putting sound effects from games in between the news.
Do you remember when we did that way back when for Drama Passes?
Classic.
And that was back when I listened to the whole episode to make sure it all sounded good. Oh my god, I listened to like an hour of this shit. Anyway, right. I want to know the big news this week about a certain game that you're obsessed with, and I'm sure you're very excited about this news. Tell me more.
Right, Colin. This morning,
right,
Nintendo hosted a Nintendo Direct to talk all about a new Animal Crossing game coming to mobile called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Now, you can watch the whole Direct. It's about 15 minutes, and I'd recommend that you do. But basically, this is a new free-to-play Animal Crossing game. It's coming out in late November for iOS and Android, and it looks really good. It's a slightly stripped-down experience of Animal Crossing where you run a campsite. You have to try and get on with your neighbors. You go to different shops. You have to do fishing and bug catching and doing quests to get apples. You play in real time, so it's nighttime when it's nighttime, it's daytime when it's daytime.
Is this going to be the replacement of Pokemon Go? Is it going to take over my life?
Here's the thing: I don't think it will replace Pokemon Go. It looks really good, but I worry that it is going to be quite battery intensive, especially if you're you can't just like put it in your pocket, like, because you're actively playing it. But it looks really good. And I hope that you will be able to use your there'll be some integration with the Switch version that presumably will come within the next couple of years. There is, like we were saying, there's no it's free to play, but there are items you can purchase which will help you along the way, which are called, I think, leaf tickets or something like that. And leaf tickets are going to have a bunch of uses. So obviously you use them to buy certain items, which will let you do things quicker than using like a fishing net where you drop a net into the ocean and catch a load of fish at once instead of just one. You'll also be able to use it to buy items which you could then use to craft furniture and things like that. It just looks lovely. I mean, it's, you know, Animal Crossing, just Animal Crossing on a phone is an idea that a lot of people will get behind, and I think it will be really interesting to see how this game does. It looks really good. For me, I mean, I'll download it and play it because we'll be talking about it here, and just because I'm curious and because I love Animal Crossing so much. I don't think it will stick for me just because, like, it is definitely going to be a battery murderer, and that is such a key thing for me on my phone at the moment. And like, if I don't like playing stuff with the phone plugged in, because if I'm doing that, I can be on my Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does. But yeah, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp comes out late November. You can watch Animal Crossing Direct on our website, heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com. We've put a link up there as well. Can I do another Nintendo thing just before you do your Switch news?
Do it.
So Nintendo of Europe have announced the Halloween sale, which is kicked off. It's kicking off, Prue. So you can have a little look at that. Games on sale include Shovel Knight Treasure Trove at 20% off, Thimbleweed Park, Severed, both. Thimbleweed Park 15% off, Severed 20% off, Bold Boys 30% off, and some 3DS games as well, including Luigi's Mansion 2, which is 20% off. Zelda Majora's Mask is 33% off, and Shovel Knight on the 3DS is 20% off as well. So if you're in Europe, do have a look on the eShop. We'll put a link as well. There's loads. There's a couple more games there, some good ones. Axiom Verge is on sale, Snake Pass as well. Shovel Knight we've mentioned. Dr. Karishama's Devilish Brain Training, Can You Stay Focused, which looks very odd. Super Castlevania and some Wii U titles as well. Project Zero and Bayonetta and Darksiders War Masters Edition, if you're keen for that. So yeah, do have a look at those. We'll embed a link. Colin.
Yes.
What's going on in the world of Vita?
Well, we've got a few bits of news I want to tackle. The first one is that the game Cursed Castillo is coming to PlayStation Vita on November the 9th. So this has been announced by a couple of companies, actually. STA Software, that's a long-ass name there. It's bringing Bylight Studios and developer Locomalito's action platformer Cursed Castillo to Vita. It will launch on November the 9th, and there's a variety of different prices here, but none of it is in pounds, so I have no idea what any of it means. The only one that I can sort of understand is US dollars. It's $11.99, so I assume that means it'll be about 10 quid in the UK. There's going to be a 4,000 print run physical limited edition, including a copy of the game, full color instruction booklet, a 56-track official soundtrack, CD, 32-page making of photo book, individually numbered collector's certificate, and a collector's box. This will be available exclusively from play-asia.com for $34.99, which seems quite cheap, actually, considering all the stuff you get. It's not bad. It's about 30 quid for all the extra goodies. Pre-orders open from November the 1st, which is a week today, I believe. Yeah, it's a week today, isn't it? The 1st of November. You have to use a coupon code here to save $3, which is Gamatsu, which is actually the website I've got this from. So maybe there's some backhanded deals going on here with Gamatsu. Who knows? For anyone who doesn't know what Cursed Castillo is, it's an arcade action platformer full of creatures from medieval myths from Spain and the rest of Europe. So there you go. It's very interesting. There's a picture here of all the what's included with the limited edition pack. There's a lot of stuff there. And if you get the $3 off, it's only going to cost you about $30, about 27 quid, which is really cool. So there you go. There you go. And if this game does sound familiar, it originally released on PC in 2012, and it's already come out on PS4 and Xbox One, and it's actually already out on 3DS as well. Came out July 2017. So I don't know why Chris hasn't spoken about it. So cheers for that, Chris. Well played. Well played. Right, let's go on to another bit of news. Now, this is an interesting story here from NIS America. So you know who they are, everyone's favorite publisher. They bring a lot of good games to PlayStation Vita. They port games. They bring them over here out in the West. So these Asian JRPGs and things like that. So, you know, games from the I always said this wrong, didn't I? I used to say Dragon-Roper. It's a Danganronpa series and the YS series as well within their list of games they brought to Vita. But the NIS America's Alan Costa has said that although the company will continue to support the Vita digitally, it's becoming increasingly challenging, especially with the Switch in the picture. So this is what he said. He said that Sony's handheld console has an incredibly hardcore fan base, but overall, Vita isn't really the place to be right now. He added that the company wants to focus on Switch, which features handheld functionality as it boasts a strong and continuously growing market, whereas PS Vita market is dwindling. That's very sad. Very sad. And he's not wrong here. He says that NIS America is one of the final supporters of the PlayStation Vita. So if they finally do drop support altogether, what are we going to play? There's only so many rounds of golf I can play in everybody's golf, Chris. What will we do? What will we do?
But they have said that they're still doing it, haven't they? They've not said that they're giving up, just that it's not maybe as profitable as it once was.
But it's really sad. Like one of the comments here, which has actually hurt a little bit, he said the PlayStation Vita is obviously on its way out, and the Switch is very, very strong. It's sad. It reminds me a bit of Toy Story, you know, when Woody is like the big toy, the main man in Andy's room and Andy's toys. Then Buzz Lightyear comes out of the pack, and then he becomes a new main toy, and Woody gets really jealous and then hits him out the window. So
yeah, but Woody, the thing is, Woody doesn't hit him out the window on purpose. He has a change of heart, but then it's too late.
Yeah,
that's why it's a great tragedy, Colin.
But then they're over in Sid's room, and he has Buzz's arm, and the toys think he's being crazy, and then they try and throw monkeys out the window to get him up. Do you remember that when they like got a barrel full of monkeys, and like the monkeys only go like a quarter down? So good. Anyway, Toy Story is a great film. But yeah, NIS is saying that the support, well, their interest and their abilities to support the Vita is dwindling. So it's going to get less and less in the future. And I guess on a positive note for us, in terms of handheld gaming, they said that the Switch is the place to be at the moment. So we can expect more games coming to Nintendo Switch, which is very, very good. Chris, do you have any other news for me?
I've got loads of news for you, Colin.
Oh my God, just lay it on me.
I'm going to pile it on. So let's do Switch first. Just a reminder, there's a system update came out earlier this week, 4.0.0, which includes video capture for select games. So you can now press the screenshot button, and certain games will let you capture the last 15 seconds of footage. And Nintendo said that they're hoping to extend that at some point so that you can then do 30 seconds and more, which will be really good for streamers and people making reviews and highlights reel and stuff. So that's cool. New profile icons from Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda. Transfer user profiles and save data to another system, which is really good because there'll be a lot of people who will have set their Switch up on, you know, a friend's one, played like an hour of Zelda, and then will have bought their own and want to move the game across. So they can. And the pre-purchase / preload option is available for certain games on Nintendo eShop for Nintendo Switch. We'll embed a link so you can read the changelog. But the interesting thing about that pre-purchase thing is it's just in time for Super Mario Odyssey, which comes out on Friday. I'm so excited to play this game, Colin. Yeah, I have, but not from digital. I pre-ordered it from a Mom and Grop and Pop Stop, but I'm really excited to play it.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts. So you're going to start playing it bang on Friday? You're going to play it
this weekend? Yeah, I've cleared Saturday. I've got basically nothing on for about 10 hours. I'm just going to play it solidly.
Nice.
I'm going to be a gross mess by the end of it. I can't wait.
Nice.
The last bit of Switch news is that Atlus will release Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Nintendo Switch. People love Shin Megami Tensei. We've talked about it a lot with regards to 3DS, and this apparently is a console exclusive. Now, Atlus have made more known for making Persona, but they've teased a trailer for it. You can watch. We'll embed on the YouTube site. We don't know anything more about that, and if it will have an English localization, but more info on that as it comes. I mean, the other Shin Megami Tenseis have done really well, so it wouldn't surprise me if this one did get ported, especially with Switch being the hot console. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. The only other last bit of Switch news as well is that a website called Geeks.com have done a really nice write-up about Rocket League on Switch. We'll embed it on HeroesofHandheld.wordpress.com, but the interesting bit there is that the game apparently runs at 60 frames per second, even on handheld mode. So that's cool. Yeah, it's exciting. Comes out, we still don't know when. They've just had holiday this year. Let's do 3DS really quick. There are exclusive Pokemon coming to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This is from Cerebi. They've kind of done a screen grab of a flyer, which you can see on their Twitter page. We'll embed it as well so you can find the link. So Tortonator and Houndoom and the turtle one I don't know the name of, and Vulpix are all exclusive to Sun. And then Moon is getting the Shield one, which I don't know the name of, the Vulture one, and Manectric is one of my favorites as well, and some of the Ultra Beasts as well. So nothing's really changed from the other ones, but we'll put a link so if you want to have a look at that. And the last bit of 3DS news is that Ace Attorney Apollo Justice, sorry, Ace Attorney, has a 3DS release date in North America and Europe now. November 21st in North America and November 23rd in Europe. You play as Apollo. We've talked about this a lot. I'm really keen. We like Apollo. He's an Ace Attorney, and I'm keen to get my teeth into that game. That's the 3DS news.
Bum, bum, bum.
Colin.
Mic drop. Hi.
Did you do your group chat research?
Yeah, well, I haven't done my last bit of Vita news yet.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had.
Chaos Child is out now in North America from the same people who bought you Steins Gate. Looks pretty cool. Loads of different endings, 50 plus hours of gameplay. Just looks really cool. It's set in the same universe as Steins Gate as well, but in a different area of Japan. So there you go. Go buy it. Anyway, yes. Group chat. I have thought long and hard about this. What was the question this week, Chris? Remind us all.
We wanted to know last week. We were talking about freemium games, and this is especially poignant with Animal Crossing being announced as well. We wanted to know which free game you've spent the most money on for in-game purchases and currency. We know that kind of people who make free games are looking for a thing called a white whale, which is, or just a whale, I guess, which is kind of the 1% of users who spends 99% of the money. Colin, now you didn't do any tweets because you're a bad boy, but you can tell us yours. What's your freemium game you've splashed the most cash on?
Now, I thought long and hard, and really, there's only one game that I can mention in this, and I've mentioned it before, because I need to highlight the addiction. Some people have addiction to gambling. Some people are addicted to alcohol. There's loads of things you can be addicted to. Some people are addicted to shortbread. I know I am as well. But the main thing, back in my teens, when I was quite young, must have been it's about 2003 time. So would have been about 13, I guess, or maybe younger. Who knows? I played a game. It wasn't really even a game. It was a social network called Habbo Hotel.
Oh, yes, of course it was Habbo Hotel.
Now, Habbo Hotel was a virtual hotel where you could create an avatar, walk around this virtual hotel, meet friends, join mafias and clans and play bingo and trade furniture. It was a fun place to be. Now, it was free, completely free to play. You just created the character and off you went. But of course, even back then in the early 2000s, there are things you could do, things you could spend real life money on to enhance your experience. You could join the Habbo Club or the HC Club, and you get a little badge next to your name. You'd be able to get exclusive Fernie, which was the cool slang word for furniture, Fernie. And you got cool outfits to wear as well. Now, you could also spend money on... You got your own room in Habbo. But obviously, if you have a room, you have to pimp it out with your own furniture or Fernie. And the only way to do that was to spend real life money in the catalogue and buy beds, chairs, coffee makers. What else could you buy? Globes, rollers. There's so much you could buy. And I spent a lot of money. And keep in mind, this is back before I had my own bank account. I was early, 11, 12, 13, very young. Didn't have my own bank account. So I sort of used my mum's credit card a lot back then. No, I did ask her if I could use it, but she'd say yes once, and I sort of kept using it. And what I had to do, you had to ring this number to get not points, sorry, to get coins. So you spent money on coins, and then you exchanged that for furniture and other bits and pieces. And I think in 1 month, I think the highest phone bill we had, it wasn't just like the oh no, it wasn't a card. I remember now. It was done on your phone bill. That's what it was. So you rang up on a home line, and then the money came from your I think it was from your phone line and your phone bill. That's how, like that. Anyway, regardless, the bill for the first month I played it was over £200, heading towards 300. And this, people,
oh my God,
you need to understand, this was on virtual coins that didn't exist, on virtual bits of furniture, which also didn't exist, and virtual bobble hats, which also didn't exist. I cannot explain to you how obsessed I was with this game. I played it relentlessly throughout it wasn't years.
What did your mum say when you spent 200 quid on
Oh, my
coins?
father, my papa and mama were very unhappy, and they sort of stopped me from spending money on it. Yeah, it was a bit of a low point. Oh man, but I need the more months you spent on the Habbo Club, the better furniture you got. And if you got the second one, if you got a coffee machine, and if you got it for 12
if
months,
this was a YouTube video, the thumbnail would be me with my hands over my face, and the title would be Colin spent how much on Habbo Hotel?
And then you'd have to dye your hair pink and quiff it up. Then you'll be like all the others.
£100.
And it was more, well, I mean, over the course of my Habbo career, it must have been heading towards £1,000. I spent so much money on Habbo Hotel, and all the relics of the money are still in Habbo. It's still there. My character still exists. My furniture is still there. And I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, it wasn't that long ago actually, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try Habbo again. I've not been on an age. Let's see what's going on. Just for a bit of nostalgia. And I realized I had all this furniture. I was like, you know what? I should give this away. So I went into a random room and I said, free Fernie. And I got banned because they thought I was a scammer.
Really?
Yes. Oh, good times. Good times. So yeah, Habbo it's weird. It was good days for me. Good memories because I actually had a lot of fun on Habbo. A lot of good times. I did a radio show on a Habbo fan website for a long time. I worked in a lot of online radio stations because of Habbo. I joined various groups. I attended events. Honestly, Habbo was a way of life. It was. Now it's just a shell of what it used to be. But Habbo was brilliant back in the day. No shame. But maybe I shouldn't have spent so much money in my first month. Anyway, so that's the game. It was free, and I spent all this money, and I didn't need to. Right, Chris, what is yours? Because you spent money on that quite a lot.
But I thought I was bad for spending 40 quid on Pokemon Go.
You haven't spent. What have you spent 40 quid on?
Mate, incubators.
Mate,
I haven't spent.
Put your Pokemon in gyms and then get the coins that way.
Don't explain to me how the gym game works, son. You don't know what it's like in London.
Hey, do you want to know how?
You don't know how hard it is to grip your fingers into a jet around here.
Do you know how much money I spent on Pokemon Go since it started?
None.
Null. 9. Wow. Nothing. 0. Zilch.
The thing is, I spend money on Pokemon Go. I reckon I think I've probably spent in the year it's been out 80 quid. The money, no, it's been more than a year actually. It's been a year and a half. And the thing is, I give the money when I'm enjoying the game, and then when I'm not enjoying the game, I play for free and don't give them any money, and that'll teach them.
They give you money.
That'll learn them, Colin.
They laugh in your face and don't improve anything and make the game even worse.
I know, I'm terrible. I'm so naughty. Oh. No, it can't be 80. I think maybe 60 is fairer.
That's that makes me very unhappy.
Sorry, you spent 200 quid on sofas for Habbo Hotel.
Hey,
anyway,
at least my room was pimped out.
Next week, Colin, because Super Mario Odyssey comes out on Friday, I've got a really good one for group chat.
Oh, nice. You know what you should do? When you're playing over the weekend, if you get a moment, record your thoughts and just upload it or send me the audio. Do like a review podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it.
That'd be good. Anyway, what's your idea?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, so Super Mario Odyssey comes out, which means we're due a Mario. Mario's.
Of course, just like spawned outside my flat.
All right, lucky you.
Hitmonchan. I've already got one. I've got 2 or 3, but come on, that's pretty rare. Don't often get those walking about. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Next week's group chat, Colin. I want to know. Now we've had a mainline Mario game. We've had, Odyssey comes out in 2 days. But probably by the time most people listen to this, it will be out. We want to know what sports game would you like Mario to do next? So we can either have a return to one of the favorites, we can go back to kart or golf or tennis or the Olympics, whatever. I want to know from you guys at home, what sports game do you want Mario to go to next?
Now, I have to say, the high point of Mario playing sports was Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics 2008.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a classic with Knuckles on the hammer.
The best one was when they were doing figure skating. What the hell was that about?
God, it was mad, wasn't it?
Oh, like a bad trip.
Yeah, I think that's a good topic. I'm keen for people's thoughts.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good idea. I am very interested to hear people's thoughts on this because I've got some thoughts. Anyway, That's it. We're done. We're out of here. Done. I'm gonna go peel this morph suit off me. Thank you for listening to episode 195 of Heroes of Handheld. We will be back in some form next week for more handheld gaming goodness. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can tweet us at Handheld Podcast. You can email us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook, Google Plus, anywhere where podcasts or social media is, we are there. We're all over it like a rash. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on iTunes. However you listen to your podcast, we'll be there somewhere in some form. So, thank you for listening, everybody. Oh, also our website, heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com. Check it out. Check it out. You can listen to all the epic previous episodes. I would recommend Giraffe Passes and the Vita Beta. No, the you can't beat a Vita. What was it? The Vita Beta.
I think
Something
it was
like
just called Vita Beta.
A great name. Great name. Thank you for listening, everybody. Chris, is there anything you'd like to say before we end the show?
Yes, if you've got questions about Mario Odyssey, message them to me on Twitter and I'll try and answer over the weekend.
Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.